All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to go over this today. This is something we set up uh, for all our clients, but a lot of them, this is something they are able to set up on their own. So I'm really excited to go through this. It's how to win with local service ads for painting contractors. Now, if you haven't seen local service ads or if you haven't used it, we're going to go through the whole process on setting it up. And if you are already using it, we're going to go through a few strategies on how to make sure you're using it, getting the most out of it. This is part of our accelerated growth roadmap that we have. And if you can master these three things, you can absolutely scale your business and get more jobs, right? So the main three parts are driving leads, maximizing that conversion, and then optimizing the results. And we go over this. We went over this at the beginning of the year. We kind of unpacked the whole roadmap here that we have, going into the different ways on driving leads, maximizing that conversion, and optimizing the results. This local service ads falls in the drive leads, so we're going to be going through that today. Now, my name is Matt Parsons. I'm the owner of Sharpline Marketing. We help painting contractors generate their own unique leads using strategies like local service ads. We build high converting websites and help with SEO, pay-per-click. So this is what we do day in, day out. We love doing this and working with painting contractors. So to jump right in here, what we're going to cover today is what Google local service ads are, where they're active, how it works, how you can jump on board if you haven't already, what it takes to rank in those top three. So some of the strategies that we've seen work very well, and then how you can take advantage of these leads that are really we're seeing come in at a low cost per lead, and how you can use that to maximize your ROI. So how or what is Google Local Services? You'll see right here, if you do, I think we searched here, painters in Phoenix. You'll see here at the top, there's a sponsored section. So these local service ads, they're showing up before everything else, before the Google search ads, before the Google business profiles, they're showing up right at the top. And they only have the options of getting the phone number, so calling you, or they've rolled out messaging. So now you can send messages, which are basically text messages. So those are the only two ways. You're not clicking through to a website, browsing around. These are ready to go leads that are finding these local service ads, and they're calling you right away. So they're really qualified leads ready to go. And here you see kind of the what it looks like expanded out. Once you click into one of the ads for a business, you'll see it shows more info. You have let's see if we have it back here on the other one. Can't really see it. But they say background check, right? So to go through this, you have to, Google is making sure you have your license in order, your background, you have a background check, and you have insurance, right? So they're guaranteeing it, right? They're saying this business is a legitimate business that works in your area. So here you see, it fills out, shows a little bit more info about your business. It pulls it directly from your Google business profile. So the reviews that you have and all the data and details that you put in your Google business profile. So why does this matter, right? Why do you need Google local service ads? Why do we think it's a good idea? And one of the main things is we see 87% of consumers search Google when looking for a home service provider, right? It's where they go first, right? And it's the number one place your customers are looking when they need your service. And like I was saying, local service ads come up first in those search results, and that's happening on both mobile and desktop. So there's no higher intent prospect than the customer who is proactively looking for your services at that moment in time, right? They are picking up the phone and they're calling you looking for that estimate. And the main thing we're going over today is why you have to have a plan in place to make sure you're using this to get the most to get the most return. So how it impacts the search results. We've seen this in a few different ways. Google, is constantly changing things and moving it around, but the local service ads are showing up first. They're right there at the top, and then you're getting the Google search ads, and then the Google business profile, and then the organic SEO. So it's really, if you can get in that top 3 spot, I think you're really in a great place to be getting some good leads. So how do local service ads work, right? I was saying earlier, they have the background check, the license, and insurance. So you have to complete that application. You have to go through the application process with Google. They'll run a background check on you and your employees. So what they say is anybody that's going to the customer's house is what they need you to run the background check on. It's up to you if you want to just do just you, the business owner, if you're the one going to take that responsibility when your jobs or your employees are at the job. Yeah, so they do the background check. It's all free. They don't charge for that, but they check your license, they check your background, and they'll check for your insurance. So once that's approved, if it's active in your area, then you pay per lead. So we are seeing it's active in most areas across the country now, but the pay per lead is one of the best things about it. With Google search or Facebook ads, you're paying for the impressions, you're paying for the clicks. When someone goes to your website and ends up searching around and doesn't reach out or doesn't fill out the form, you're still paying for that interaction. So with these, you're only paying when someone picks up the phone to call you. Now, we usually see it's about $25 to $45 a lead, but obviously that shifts based on your location, your competition, right, and the services that you're offering. So the bidding process in this, like we were saying, you're only paying per lead. You have a few different ways to set up how you want to bid, how you want to set those prices up. So how you can, you're only paying per lead. So you can adjust your bid. They give you some options. They've changed this, but you can do an automated bidding, right? So you get the most leads for the budget that you set. Okay, so this is an important thing to make sure you have it set up correctly. So this, right, per week, you can set your budget that you want to spend per week, and they give you an estimate here that you could get 3 leads per week, right? Depending on how well the ad does. And we'll go into some strategies on making sure your ad is performing well. But you set your budget, and then this option here, you're letting Google say, I just want as many leads as I can get for my budget, right? So you can set a target cost per lead, or you can set a manual bid, right? So a max amount that you want to spend per lead, right? If you only want $20 per lead, you can definitely set that up. What we see with this is you usually are going to get less leads if you have some competition that are doing automated bidding, because they're just going to outbid you, and Google, will adjust that automatically for someone with that set. What we've also seen work really well is setting a really high budget. So say you only want to spend $500 a month, maybe you set your budget to $1,000 a month, you keep an eye on it, see the leads that are coming in, and once you can calculate how many leads you're getting, you can drop that budget back down or turn the ads off once you actually hit your $500 budget. But upping that budget with the automated bidding is going to get you some more leads in. Now, how are you charged for local service ads? So like I was saying, it's you're only getting charged when somebody contacts you, right? So you set a weekly budget. It limits the total number of leads you receive in any given week. So we have a little calculation here, right? $2,000 a month, $500 a week, $71 a day gives you $35 per lead, right? So then you kind of see that 57 leads per month, 14 leads per week, 2 per day. Once the weekly budget is spent, Google pulls your ad down. So you can get different number of leads day to day, right? But they're never going to spend more than your weekly budget. So you might see some days, if you have a $2,000 budget a month, you're going to see some days where you're spending $100 in a day. Other days you're going to be spending $30. So you used to be able to manually dispute leads. So you have a account where you would log in for local service ads, and you have a list of your leads, and you can dispute the leads that weren't valid. Google has a tracking phone number. They're recording the phone calls so they can make sure they're qualified leads. And you used to be able to dispute those if it was a bad lead. Now they've taken that away, which has made it a little more difficult, but they're automatically disputing or crediting the leads. So you'll still, if it's a bad lead, you'll still get charged for it, but then they'll give you a credit if they determine that it's not a qualified lead. So what we've been recommending more and more is make sure, if it's you doing the calls or you have somebody on your team, to make sure you're very clear on the call as early on as possible. If they're calling and saying, I want a hallway painted, I'm looking for an estimate, and you say, that's not something we offer, and end the phone call really quickly. Or if they're asking, maybe if you do drywall repair, and you need to make it very clear early on and end the phone call, and that'll make it clear to Google that it's not a valid or not a qualified lead. So here's some other options. I was talking about services not offered, but if somebody's selling something, you'll still those spam calls are inevitable, but Google will weed those out and not charge you for them, right? Spam calls, solicitations, if somebody's looking for a job, those types of things, they're pretty good at crediting those types of calls. And then location not served, so it's outside of your radius or too far away, you can decline the job, and that will most of the time give you a credit back. Feedback from active users. So they used to have, sorry, lost my place. Our current clients that are using this, they're seeing that you're getting a lower cost per lead than Google search ads, and a higher quality, right, than the shared ads, right? A lot of those shared ads, any type of paid ad you can do on your own, you're getting those leads directly. You're not sharing them with other businesses, so it's a high quality lead. You're still getting those price shoppers. You're still getting, right? A lot of times people are calling around to get the estimates, and you're still going to get those, and you have to have that follow up in place to make sure you're staying top of mind. But we do see a really solid return on investment from most of the clients who have jumped on board with this. Now, why is this a no-brainer for most painting contractors? You're showing up at the top of the results, right? Where your clients are looking. You're getting that very top spot. You're only paying on a per lead basis. It's a lower cost per lead than normal search ads, and you're getting a higher quality lead than shared ads, right? Like Home Advisor, Angie's, that type of thing. You're able to modify your budget based on your schedule. So this is one of the biggest points I like to make when a business is starting to use this is you can change your budget, week to week. You can increase it. You can turn the ads off. You can turn them right back on. They're not like Meta ads or Google search ads where they take time for the algorithm to get going. It's based on your Google business profile. And because of that, there's not a whole lot of settings that you can change besides that budget and having your Google business profile set up correctly. All right, so went through a lot there on kind of what local service ads are, how you can use them, to benefit your business and to get more leads. So now we're going to jump in on how to get set up. So here is the link right here. If you won't need it, you can just search on Google for local services and that'll show up. But basically what you do here, and I'm going to go through this really quick, but you can, you go in and you sign up. They walk you through the sign up process and creating your profile. And it does, you have to have your Google business profile set up already. So if you have that already set up, going through this process is really easy. You're just linking the two accounts together. And then you're going through you have to upload your insurance, your business license, and then filling out the information to do the background check. All right, so how does the ranking work? Number one is your proximity, right? Because it's based on your Google business profile, it's going to be based on proximity. So where, if someone's real close, if you have a lot of competition and they're in the next town over, you might not be showing up for those. So proximity is the most important. Next is your review score. So the number of reviews your profile has, that's going to be next on the line. Depending on your competition, right? The more reviews you have, the higher you'll show up. And an important one is your responsiveness to customer inquiries. So if you have your messages turned on for local service ads and customers are sending you text messages and you're not responding within 5-10 minutes, Google's going to start lowering your ad position. If you're missing the phone calls and not picking up, they're going to lower your position. And then there's also ways inside the system to mark jobs as booked, and you need to be staying up to date with that as well. Your business hours. So if somebody's searching for painters near me at 7 o'clock, at night after they've got off work, if your business is closed and another painting business is open, they might, they'll most likely show the open business first. So we've had some clients that have expanded their business hours for this reason, staying open later. Technically, you do have to have somebody that's able to pick up the phone and willing to pick up the phone if you expand those business hours, but it is a strategy to get those calls, more after business hours when people are looking, at after work hours or on the weekends even. And then whether or not you've received any complaints, right? Repeated complaints, bad reviews. Obviously, this kind of goes without saying. If you're getting bad reviews and you're getting a lot of complaints, you're going to have issues with your advertisements. So in addition to these, Google's going to attempt to spread the leads out over time, right? They want to make sure you're spending your budget evenly. They don't want you to spend it all up front and then your ad not show up. So if it's generating leads quicker than your budget can accommodate, you may see you drop, your ranking drop or your ads paused to spread out your leads. So if you get, 10 leads in a week or in a few days, Google might drop your ranking to even that out. So your budget works throughout the full month. And that was one of those strategies that we've had. If you raise your monthly budget, right? Sometimes that can avoid that kind of situation where if you're getting a lot of leads in a certain week, you raise your budget, your ad will stay up there. You can keep that momentum going, you know, and then drop the budget when you're ready. So how do you win with local services, right? You dial in that service area. You want to make sure your Google profile is set up, and they give you the option in the local service profile also to define where you want that ad to show up. What areas do you want to target specifically? And then setting up your Google business profile correctly and fully, and making sure you have that budget set. Marking the jobs, the leads that come in, marking them as booked jobs. And then driving reviews. So, you know, we've done probably a few different webinars, or I think it's mentioned on all of them that these reviews are very important. It needs to be baked into your business culture, your company culture, making sure you're getting reviews on a consistent basis because it helps across the board. And then you want to target an 85% booking rate, right? So 85% of those jobs that come in or the leads that come in through here, we've seen if you can get to 85% or above, you're going to be in that top three spot. All right, so first we're going to go into how to dial in your profile. Make sure you have that set up correctly. So set your budget, right? Open it up if you have the capacity. These are very cost-effective leads. So I've said it a couple times already. If you can add, stay on top of your budget, stay on top of the amount of leads that are coming in and what you're spending. Really open up that budget at the beginning of the month, and then you can always dial it back in. Update your schedule. So that was that strategy we said. If you change your business hours, expand those a little bit to get those after hours phone calls, and then make sure your business bio is set up, right? So your Google business profile must be optimized. We definitely have another workshop on your Google business profile, but it's not the time to just kind of make sure you have all the form fields filled in, the input forms filled in. You want to make sure it is optimized. You want to write a nice in-depth bio that talks about the service you offer. And then you want to select the job types that you want the ad to show up for. So maybe your business does offer, you know, interior, exterior, maybe it does cabinets, some drywall repair, but with ads, right, the way you can stretch that the best is, you know, getting more specific. So maybe you just want to target exterior repaints or just residential painting. Their job types kind of change all the time. So if it's just painting, just residential painting, you want to make sure that's selected. And then setting up your service areas, that's very important as well. Updating your business hours, and then very important is to add photos. Authenticity goes a really long way online. If you have a photo of you, a photo of the team, real photos of projects that you've done, they help tremendously, not only in showing Google that you're a real business and that you're not just using stock photos, but proving that, you know, authenticity to your potential leads, right? That you are who you say you are, you're a real person online. All right, next is marking your jobs as booked. So this one is very easy to overlook, right? It's another place you need to go if you have a CRM set up, right? You need to have somebody that is actively in charge of this and making sure the leads that come in from your local service ads, if they are pushed over to your CRM, you need to make sure that they're marked as booked there in the platform. So Google they rate your responsiveness. If you're completing those jobs and marking them completed, right? You're marking them as booked and scheduled. You're adding in, you can fill in the customer details, right? A lot of times you'll just get a phone number at first, so you can fill in the details, add an email address, and then if there aren't, right, if they didn't convert, you also need to mark that in there as well. Deal with disputes. Now this, you used to be able to dispute them manually. Now it's all automated. So you won't be charged for disqualified leads, or if they're outside your area, if it's not a service you provide, and you need to be very clear and specific on the phone call as quickly as possible. So Google is, they're recording the phone calls, and that's how they credit you if it is a disqualified lead. So the quicker you can disqualify it, the better, and the more chance you have of getting that credit back. Now, how to increase your lead flow from local services? Right, so you open up your budget, you expand your service areas, maybe add in different job types if you do have the budget for it, and then close out every lead, right? It's important to be in the profile, in your local profile, to make sure you're staying up to date with that. And then again, making sure you're getting those reviews for every job. So really, you need to be using the profile, right? It's a Google local service ad. You need to be using their system, making sure you're getting reviews in your Google profile, and those reviews and staying active in the platform will make sure that your ads are showing up in that top 3. So again, this I went through all that pretty quick. Hopefully that all made sense. It is something, it is part of our accelerated growth roadmap, right? It's one of the paid ways that we drive leads. We're seeing it work really well if you follow those steps. If you're going through that process and you're making sure you're staying on top of things, you can absolutely bring in some really low cost per leads, really low cost leads. There we go. I got it out. And we're seeing it work really well for a lot of businesses. And it's also another place in that Google search results where you can show up, right? If you are in local service ads, right, and you're showing up in one of those top 3 spots, you're also showing up, right? If you have your Google business profile set up and that's optimized, you're showing up there, right? So local service ads, Google business profile. If you're running search ads, right, that's another spot you can show up. And then if your organic SEO is working, you're showing up there. So that's four different places your business can show up on that first page of Google when someone's searching for a service that you offer. And it's just, you can really dominate that first page if you get all of that, really dialed in and set up correctly. So we went through all of this. We're recording it. I know I went through it fast. We're recording it so you can go back and go through the steps. If you do need help with any of this, we're happy to help. Like I said, this is a service that we add on in all our programs. It doesn't take a lot of, a lot to manage like a normal paid search ad would. But we're happy to help. If you're not a client already, and you are looking for help, feel free to reach out. We'll do a free online marketing plan review. We'll go through your site if you'd like, or if you just want help setting up the local service ads, if you just want help setting up your Google business profile, we offer that as well. So feel free to give us a call down there or follow the link here, sharplinemarketing.com, and we'll be happy to help you out. And all right. Yeah, I think that's it. If you have any questions, like I said, we're here to help. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.